This week I'm just reflecting on St. John Paul II, given the fact that his feast day was yesterday. And when John Paul was elected Pope, it caused consternation in the Kremlin because President Brezhnev rightfully understood that this was a threat to the whole communist system. So here was a bishop who lived intensely the crushing oppression of Soviet godlessness, who was a philosopher, who understood the philosophical errors of the communist system and could powerfully articulate an understanding of the human person based in Christian anthropology. So in May of 1979, Pope John Paul visited Poland for the first time as Pope. And before that trip, Brezhnev calls the president of Poland and says, "Don't let him in. Don't let him come back, because if you let him in, it's going to be the undoing of our system." Polish president responded with, "How can we not let him in? He's the Polish Pope. I mean, how can we tell the Polish Pope he can't come to Poland?" So John Paul had this remarkable first trip to Poland in May and early June of 1979. And he never spoke explicitly against the government. He never said, overthrow the government. He simply lifted up Jesus Christ as the source and inspiration of human rights. And essentially told the Polish people, stop being afraid. Just lift up your heads, look around. All of you are brothers and sisters in Christ. And when you stand together with confidence in knowing yourselves as children of God, with inherent rights that come from God, there's no government in the world that can stop that. And so at the end of that trip, the communist officials knew that it was really all over. That trip inspired the beginnings of Solidarity with Lech Walesa. Solidarity destabilized the communist system within Poland, which in turn destabilized the whole Eastern Bloc, which only 10 years later brought down the whole Soviet system in 1989. So whether you're speaking to right-wing dictators or left-wing officials, whether you're speaking to the comfortable in countries like ours, or speaking to the poor of the developing world, John Paul always lifted up Christ and saw the whole inspiration for our social teaching coming from the dignity of the human person, which flows from Christ himself.